Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Something that we have not done in a while is doodling a random blob and then turning it into a creature. So I want you to grab your pencils, grab your sketchbooks, grab your pens, whatever you want to sketch with. Open to a clean page and then start scribbling along with me without worrying too much about the line placement, about where things are going, how hard you're pressing, the shading, anything like that. I'm going to teach you how to turn these weird, crazy shapes into something that is cool, and I'm also going to teach you how to extract specific shapes, even if you think that you're not creative enough to do so. Okay, so first things first. I do not have an animal in my head that I'm pulling reference from. About to throw my pencil. Instead, what I'm doing is I'm just indicating where maybe legs and the body and the head and everything could exist without worrying too much about making it perfect. Okay, so for example, you can see that there's these two vertical sections in the front, and then over here on the right, on my right, you can see another vertical, and then out here could be a tail. This could be a chest. So right away, it's almost like it's a quadruped. As a matter of fact, why don't we just make it a quadruped? So right off the bat, that decision that I just made does not have to be overwhelming for anybody. Even if those of you watching right now and you're sketching, you're going, how did you know to make it a quadruped and not, you know, an ungulagrade, or I don't know, whatever else you want to call it, an alien creature, whatever. And it's just because those shapes that I drew all happen to be vertical. And then we as human beings, we see dogs all the time. You guys probably own some dogs. Think about the animals that those remind us of as we go. So right now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to extend the legs down a little bit, just because I can and I want to. You can too. Those of you that are watching right now, maybe you want to make your legs a little shorter, a little cuter, or a little longer and gangly and creepy looking, whatever. At this point, we have a bunch of intersecting lines, and the creature that I am designing may not be coming to fruition yet. It's weird because I kind of do see a dog head up here, but I don't want to make this a dog. I'm going to put down some spheres where I believe the shoulders and the hips could exist. There's another decision that I want to talk about. How did I know to put the spheres there versus up here or down there? Well, I'm thinking about the proportions of this creature as it's being made. The legs are long, and then the torso and the head is a little shorter. You want to make sure that your creature proportions are at least attractive enough to where it doesn't look messed up and weird, like stubby legs, but the body is massive. Well, then it wouldn't be able to walk. If I make these legs any longer, it's going to become spider-like. So I'm just going to keep these pretty even. So from the shoulder joint to the bottom is almost equidistant from the shoulder joint to the top of the head. So the top of the head is just a little smaller. And hey, if you're scribbling something right now and you're completely making this up and you have no idea where it's going, keep going. Okay? Throw perfection out the window. There's nothing to perfect yet because we do not have a brief and we do not have a set design or even words to describe what we're doing. Instead, we're just having fun drawing. Oh, by the way, I'm using a Faber-Castell. I don't know if you can see it in this lighting. Faber-Castell 4B, and then I'm drawing on moleskin paper. This moleskin paper, it's a little thinner than what I'm used to. I ordered it off Amazon. It's pretty thin, like you can see through these pages quite easily. So that's why sometimes when I'm drawing, you can see another drawing underneath it. But anyway, that's besides the point. I don't know what I'm talking about. Extracting shapes. If you are the type of person that can't see shapes in your head and you can't put them on paper, look what you drew and try to extract the lines that are darker than the others. So for example, if I'm looking at this creature right now, I can see that there's almost like this diamond-shaped eyeball up here. I'm just going to put that in there. It's almost like a larger eye. I'm happy with that. This dark random line right here is most likely the shoulder joint, or I'm sorry, the elbow. So let's just make that the elbow, and then I know that the other leg is going to need an elbow too. Do you see how I'm still not worried about exact tendon and muscle anatomy as I come down here? I mean, this creature is most likely going to be a digitigrade now, you know, like a dog, cat, fox, or whatever. An unguligrade is a hooved animal, and I'm not going to make it that. But instead, let's just see what happens. All right, so let's just give it a bigger neck just because. And let's get crazy with it. Let's put 3 legs in the front. That decision that I just made was just for fun. Remember what I said in the beginning of this lesson? We don't want to make it too familiar feeling, okay? And this way, you know, I'm thinking about Avatar and those 6-legged creatures, and think about all those other weird alien movies that we see where the creatures always have like that extra limb. Now I need to be careful about this head right here. I know that it's starting to look like a dog, which is okay. Maybe I'll go with that. But the actual jaw shape is going to be a little different. I'm not going to spend too much time with the actual skeletal shape yet. It's just getting these scribbles out. So we have all of these overlapping lines here. Now, the next question that you might have is, how do I know what to extract within each of these lines that I have here? Because they're going all over the place. Well, let's think about body parts. Let's think about things that would look cool on this creature. For example, we have a bunch of lines coming down the neck right here. All right, so maybe there's very pronounced neck muscles coming down. Notice how light and gestural I'm making this. It's because nothing is figured out yet. I am slowly but surely layering on these lines and building up something that I feel could be used later. This will be the hind leg. I can already see the thickness of the thigh right here. And I also have the sphere where I put the hip. So let's say that is the back leg, but you know what I need to do now? This back left leg will need to be duplicated somewhere back there. Because think about it this way. Here's the hip region, all right? If I make the back right leg all the way over here, look how fat the hip is on that creature. Because remember, the creature itself, if you were thinking in 3D and how there's structure to it, you have to go up over to the spine and then follow the thickness of the right side of the hip on the other side of the body. Think about drawing through your objects when you're doing these scribbles. So at first, when you guys are doodling these beasts on your page, they're going to have a bunch of lines everywhere. You're going to become a much better artist and a better sketcher if you embrace the fact that you need to layer everything so that you can get your thinking lines out. There's always time for refinement, all right? You can start light, get darker. You can't do the opposite. It's the same thing with jumping into detail. You can erase things to figure out the design later, but who wants to do that? It'll just look like crap. So this way we're able to draw lightly and refine these shapes. But let's look at this. So here's the belly right in here. There's the chest with 3 front legs coming out. We're going to bend the right leg in the back of the body like this. Now, how did I know to bend the leg right in that exact spot? Well, I'm starting to think about the thickness of the back of the hip. This arm in the front here, this really big left arm, it's going to be covering that area anyway. So if you guys have pets, just look at your pets right now. Look at your dogs, look at your cats, and when they start walking towards you, you really can't see the back legs well. It's because of the front legs. They're covering the back ones. You need to think about the perspective that you're viewing this animal in. This is a front 3/4 view. Front 3/4. Front 3/4 is an incredibly important ability to draw because you're going to need to do this if you want to be a creature designer or prop designer, a character designer. Okay, so now what I want you to do is I want you to look at your scribble and figure out areas where you're not really confident about. You don't really know what's going on with the body, and see if you can put some interesting shapes in there that may give you a really unique silhouette. So for example, I know for a fact that this thing is going to have a tail. It just looks like a creature that would need a tail for balance, which is its function. Okay, we don't want to just put random tails on creatures. We actually want to give it a reason to have it. So I'm just going to give a rather thick lizard-like tail, and I'm going to bend it a little bit. See how loose I'm being with this? Anything goes back. I could be putting spikes on it. I could be putting some strong muscles in there. I might even put some armor plating or spikes. Like, I'm going to leave that there, but the silhouette of it is there for me to think about. Maybe I'll come back to that if I like doing something over here. I'm that type of person, well, I'm the type of artist where if I'm sketching something like, hey, let's put some detail over by the ribs. Oh, shoot, that gives me a good idea about the eyeball. I just kind of jump around. I've always been like that. It's a lot of fun, but also I tend to not finish the area that I started. Comment below if you're like that too. It's okay if you are. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to put in some shadow on the chest because I'm pretty confident that that's what I want the chest to be, like the bowl shape. The deltoid muscle in the front, I'm going to be honest with you guys, this is the first time I've ever done this, where there's a leg right where the breastplate is, like right in the middle. I mean, if we're thinking about the clavicle and like the clavicles coming down like this, that's where it is. It's right in the center. So I'm going to really need to think about how I'm going to, if it's going to have any pec muscles. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. That's the fun part. I love doing this kind of stuff. So let's see what happens. But anyway, let's jump around. Strong jaw, so I'm just going to put a sphere in there for the overall structure. Speaking of structure, if you guys have a random shape right now and it's kind of spiky, kind of rounded in places, you have a tentacle here, a random ear there, think about the larger shapes that your body is made out of first. So when you look at this dog creature, I know that this is a pretty big oval, okay? This part could be egg-shaped, but also triangular. There's a big sphere in here where the chest cavity is. And overall, so you can break this up into smaller shapes. See how messy this is getting? See all these overlapping markings and everything? This is the beautiful part about sketching, everybody. Please embrace that. Notice how I have not used this thing once. Stay away from using the eraser unless you absolutely have to. Eraser is made to take away. It's not meant to be adding anything. Now, that doesn't suggest that you can't use an eraser for some cool markings and everything, but if you want to learn how to be a good decision maker when it comes to drawing, stay away from the eraser. So let's do something fun here. Why don't we put a small ear here and here, and then followed by a larger ear right behind it. It's very, very weird. It's a lot of firsts for me, everybody, because I haven't drawn a leg in the middle of a chest before, and I have never drawn two sets of ears that look like, it kind of looks like Rudolph mixed with stubby horns that haven't grown yet. I don't know. But anyway, let's see what happens. All right, so I kind of hardened that neck off there, so maybe there's a lump in the neck muscles. I'm cool. I'm cool with that. Let's see what happens. Something that's bothering me, I need some feet on this thing. It's going to be small, okay, and I'm just going to break it up. I'm not going to do the mistletoe. Remember that mistletoe lesson that I gave you guys? Top 7 mistakes that beginner artists make. You need to make sure that your toes are not pointing into the ground like somebody jackhammered like rocks or whatever that is going down into the ground. You want to make it look like it's flat. All right, because it's standing on a physical structure. All right, it's gonna be like greyhound feet, honestly. Small little oval shapes. This is gonna be a digitigrade. It's gonna be walking on its toenails. or the padding of its feet. And I'm just going to indicate what could be going on in the back here. All right, we got your tarsals and your metatarsals. Okay, your tarsals going up to the ankle. And then of course you got your metatarsals, the tendons and the bones and all the little nice little bones that are connecting the toes and everything to the tendons. So all the fun stuff. The other thing I want to make sure, now that I'm getting some more detail on this, is that the legs themselves are not too flimsy. So if you're doing something Lovecraftian, if you're doing something that is lanky, which if you're drawing a creature that is lanky and it doesn't have a lot of muscle, like it's not ripped or whatever, it's okay. A lot of times the lanky ones are really strong also, so they don't have to have bulging muscles everywhere. Just give it a nice weight distribution. So notice how the center of gravity right here is actually being supported right in the middle. So its left front arm and its back right leg are helping it walk. The center leg coming out of its chest, and then the right front, oh my gosh. Okay, I think I know what's going on now. Okay. Top view, head, body. We got a leg here, we got a leg here, we got a leg here, we got back, right, and left. Okay, that's what's happening. So, anybody confused? I was at first also, but I have to, work out my own design here. So this is going to be the middle one here. Look at all those scribbles. It's fine. I'm embracing that. But anyway, we got that center of gravity. So the balance is good. We got this one catching the weight. We got this one anchoring the body. And then the back left leg is going to be a pivot. And then the right one is lifting up, maybe because the creature's curious, wants to look around or whatever. Let's start adding in some cool little scribbles for some shapes. Like this. All right. And then let's put some value in here, up near the face. Maybe like a darkened muzzle, just something really fun. And I'm just going to keep the eye looking forward, because forward-looking eyes tend to be predatorial. Prey eyes are typically on the side, depending on the species. But even if you're drawing eyeballs that are on the side, just to make sure that you're not doing the side eye where it looks like you're looking at a human being from front view. Okay, even side eyes, like on lizards and species like that, they follow the shape of the skull. There we have it, folks. So let me know in the comments below what you guys came up with. This is a very, very crude beginner sketch that anybody can do. Those of you watching right now and you have no idea why the YouTube algorithm brought you to this, please know that if you just bust out your sketchbook, get your pen and pencils and start doodling, you might actually have an artist in there in yourself somewhere and you didn't even know it. Start scribbling. Now your next assignment is to do 10 of these. 10 of these a day for a full month. Okay? And just make sure that you embrace the scribbling part. It's okay if it's ugly. Not all of us are going to draw nice things. Okay? I draw ugly things on a daily basis in order to get to the cool stuff. So just embrace that part of your sketching journey and you'll be totally fine. Comment below. Let me know what you're sketching. Check the links in the description. Join our Discord, our Creature Design Workshop Discord. Okay, you can join a lot of like-minded people. Enter in monthly contests based on a creature design brief that I give. Some of them are pretty wild. And then also, early sign-ups are now going on for my online course, Creature Design for Film and Games. And I've been teaching that at the Computer Graphics Master Academy for almost 10 years now. I can't believe it's been almost 10 years. But the link is in the description below for that also. Summer course starts in July, the end of July, so you still have time. There is a limited number of seats. Okay, we hold 20 students, and those fill up. Okay, so thanks everybody for tuning in, and this is always fun. These scribbling thumbnail sketches are always fun. Let me know what you guys are drawing, and good luck with your art. Till next time, peace.